Good morning to everybody that is with us live on the call and everybody that will be joining in, as well as everybody that is going to be catching this on replay. As I can see the numbers, and we are getting out there and touching far more than just the people directly on this call. So welcome to everybody. This morning, we are going to be discussing what you focus on grows. How many times do we look at something and the more that we think about that something, the more that it becomes real in our life, the more that we see it unfolding in our day-to-day life. Now, this can be anything from, I love Lamborghinis. I want a Lamborghini, and all of a sudden you're driving down the road and there she is. And then there she is again. And then there she is again. You start seeing what you are focusing on. It can go for anything. You focus on lack in life. You look at your bank account and you say, oh crap, I'm out of money. Next week, you're probably in the same boat. The week after, you're probably in the same boat. However, you flip it around and you start saying, thank God, look at this. I have the money to pay bills. And then you look the next week and thank God I have the money to pay bills. And then you start focusing a little wider and you say, you know what? I'm going to have an extra $100 at the end of the month. You start focusing on this. Now, I am not one that comes and says, hey man, let's manifest. We can manifest this, we can manifest that. That's not my style. I really don't even fully understand the concept of people saying, I'm going to manifest this in my life. From what I have picked up from it, it's just positive thinking. I'm not one that believes in positive thinking alone. Positive thinking has a huge part in life, without a doubt, no question about it. You think positive, you will get more positive results. However, it takes work. I think I mentioned this last week. You cannot run east believing that you're going to see a sunset. No matter how much you believe it, no matter how much you positively enforce you're going to see that beautiful sunset running east, it will not happen until you turn around and realize that the sun sets in the west. That's where you get your sunset from. Or unless, of course, you look in a mirror and you're seeing behind you anyway. Yes, positive thinking has its place. Think positive with everything. However, it also takes the logical work to get to that point. It also takes you putting in the focus. You know, I have done many calls with many people in the past several weeks. And I actually spend the majority of my day on calls, about 45 minutes a person, and I go from person to person and take phenomenal notes. I'm meeting a lot of people. It's wonderful. One thing that I see from massive amounts of people, I would say probably 1 in every 3 people that I talk to, is they're focusing on a bunch of things. Nothing wrong with that, so long as your focus is designed to everything specific. As an example, I'm involved in several businesses. I don't have just one. At last count, I think that I was involved in 8. Now, in reality, some of them are going to fall off, and I'm very well aware of that. However, I have, well, I'll pick on one because one of my partners is on this call with us right now. There is one that I'm involved in, and he just came back on screen. What's up, brother? There's one that I'm involved in. I'm totally passionate about it. I love it. I'm very involved. I've put tens of thousands of dollars into it. I completely believe in the concept, or else I would have never gotten involved in the business. And at the same time, that is not my main focus. You know, since I've already let the cat out of the bag, Cullen is a partner. I'm actually a minority partner in that business. I devote time to it. However, not the majority of my time. It can't be. The majority of my time is where my passion, where my heart is at. And that is touching people's lives, helping people level up, doing exactly what we're doing here, mentoring people one-on-one. That is my passion. That is where my time goes to. You know, I think everybody on here knows that I have a book coming out. That dovetails right along with what we're doing here. That is really the concept of that book. If y'all are not aware, a book primarily is a big business card. That's really what they are. And the purpose of that, again, is to pull more people in so we can touch more lives, so we can transform more lives. So, you know, I use that example to say, yes, you can be involved in more than one thing without a doubt. Just be cautious of where you put your time and have everything prioritized. What I focus on grows. What you focus on grows. The business that I'm involved in with Cullen, I put focus into it without a doubt, and it will grow. And the majority of my time is put into my own brand, my own persona, my own way of touching people's lives. You know, I think most of y'all know my story. I have been involved in commercial services for 20 years. Loved it, did very well. Truth be told, made millions of dollars in the business. Yet I got to the point of where I was just chasing money. And I swore I would never work for just money. So I took a step back and I looked and I said, how can I impact people? How can I touch people's lives? That is exactly where Chris Albert came on this call from, because he is in the same line of work that I was in. And I saw one of his posts on Facebook. And now is my time to reach out and impact and empower. I'm not going to say the next generation, because that term means people that are younger. And I can tell you, I have mentees, I have people that I'm on calls with, and I mentor and I coach that are older than I am. But to impact other people, take my life experiences and touch lives. You know, I've learned the concept of prioritizing and knowing where to put your focus in, where to put your time into. Because what you focus on will grow. You know, when I'll pick on another one of the businesses that I'm involved in. It is a seminar company to where we are actually putting together the masterminds. Now, will that happen? Absolutely, it will happen. However, I don't have much time to focus on that. And the partners that I'm involved with, truth be told, we don't have a lot of time to focus on it. We are working on other projects. And guess what? That business is not growing. It's really stagnant. It hasn't done hardly anything. Hardly may be very generous. I don't think it's done anything in all reality, because none of us have time to focus on that. And where your focus is will grow. However, the things that we are focused on are growing. The things that we are focused on are getting out there and people are seeing it. And the thing is, you need to remember all the time with life, with business, where your attention goes, your focus goes, that's what will grow. I know I've said that probably 10 times already in the past 10 minutes, because it is so paramount and so important that when you lose focus, when you are not paying attention to that which is important, it will dwindle. You go to the gym, you work out, your muscles grow. You stop, they go away. My son likes to pick on me and make the comment, yeah, Dad's muscles are deflated. Several years ago, I was hardcore in the gym. In fact, I took my son with me several times to the gym, and he would laugh at me when he would see me working out, because if y'all have not picked up, I get kind of passionate about the things I do. I'm okay sitting in the gym with a red face and veins popping out and almost spitting everywhere to push that extra 5 pounds, because that's growth. You don't grow by being able to bench press 300 pounds and you work out with 100 pounds. Now, your muscles do develop, they do get toned, but they don't grow. To grow, if you're maxing out at 300 pounds, you got to throw 305 pounds on there. You got to push it. You know, if you can do 300 pounds, or if you can do 250 pounds, 10 reps easily, your growth comes in that 11th rep. One more, push one more. Your focus. Unfortunately, what I have found for me, I can't speak for everybody, but using the weightlifting thing, if you're bench pressing 300 pounds, and no, I never did bench press 300 pounds. If you're bench pressing 300 pounds, that's your focus. You stay there. When you are growth minded, you find that spotter to say, hey, come in, help me out, help me pull this weight off of me in the event that I cannot push it. But then you put 310 pounds on there, 325 pounds on there. You push it, you do it, you grow. There are countless examples of how to use this example, because it is true to life with everything. You know, one of the things, I think we are all connected here on Facebook, maybe Instagram, maybe TikTok, certainly YouTube. I hope you're all on YouTube. That's where we live stream these videos. And for those of you watching the replay, hit hashtag replay and leave your comments below. We love to hear from you as well. I am focused on growing the social media. And there's two people on this call, Michelle and Camille. They are absolutely phenomenal and help me stay on track with that day in and day out. Some of the calls that have been set up here in the past couple of weeks, most of them are outbound leads. Camille reaches out to people and puts them in contact, and then we get on a Zoom much like this and have meetings, and I get to know them, they get to know me. We had a gentleman last week. He said, well, I reached out to you because, and of course, my thought is, no, we reached out to you, but that's okay. You know, no point in pointing it out. And then I went back and looked, and the reality is he did reach out. And I said, okay, cool. Where did you reach out? What had you reach out to me? And he said, I see your post every day. You are very encouraging. You're very upbeat. You're very positive. And I wanted to meet you and I wanted to get to know you. Very cool. The focus went into providing that value on Facebook, on Insta, on TikTok. And people are coming in, and that is the point. That's where the focus is. You must be focused. That's where your growth comes in at. You can be focused on more than one thing at a time. However, it takes a team. It truly takes a team. The beautiful thing to it is much of my team is on this call now. We do have people that are within the team that are not on this call. It takes a team to put together what you're seeing here and what's going on out there. And just as a public thank you to the three of you that are on the call that are behind me, that if I didn't say your names on these calls, nobody would even know. Thank you. Michelle, Camille, Colin, thank you. It's much appreciated. We are here to touch people's lives. We are here to impact people's lives, and it's working. It's all about seeing people level up. People get stuck in life. People get to the point where they say, I have no clue what to do. I have nobody to help me. I have nobody that understands. Now's our chance to get out there and say, yeah, we do. You know, I'm involved in a bunch of groups on Facebook, and I like reading their posts. One thing that people say is find somebody that's in your exact industry, and that's who you get to mentor you. There's some truth to that. However, I will say in 20 years of being in business, there are some business principles that are the same no matter what business you're in. I don't care if you're running a pressure washing company. I don't care if you're running Tesla. There are things that I have to do in my business that Elon Musk has to do in his business. And if we don't, we fail. Doesn't matter how big you are or how small you are. Some business principles are the same no matter what. There are advantages to having some people in your industry. However, that is not an absolute. I have helped people in the real estate industry. I have helped people in other industries, which I do have a somewhat real estate background. I have invested, I have lost, I have reinvested. That's part of investing, isn't it, Cheryl? You don't always win, unfortunately. But the thing is, always stay focused. You always have the choice of how you're going to respond to something. You know, you look and you say, wow, I have no money left. Woe is me, poor me. Okay. Poor you. Or you can look and say, thank God I paid my bills this week. Bills are paid. We're fed. We're housed. We're clothed. So let me hear from some of you guys. What is an example of where you have stayed focused, where you have seen growth because of your focus? Diana, what do you have for us where you've seen growth due to your specific focus? Good morning.
Good morning. What I'm focusing right now, it's on my real estate business. As you know, I was out of the business for a little over 2 years, and I have been focusing, and I'm beginning to get my deals going. It's been a lot of work, but you know, I had a choice there. Oh, for me, I don't have any clients, or well, I have to start all over. Let's meet new people and let's reach out to other people. And that's what I'm doing. I'm focusing and reaching out to people, getting on the phone, contacting them. And that's where my focus is right now. I'm growing my business.
That's awesome. Are you doing most of your lead generation one-to-one or one-to-many?
One-on-one.
One-on-one? Very, very
Yes.
cool.
Yes.
Anybody that's watching this call that's looking for a phenomenal house in the Miami, Florida area, hit up Diana. She's your girl. She's your girl. Cheryl, sticking with the real estate industry, where's somewhere that you've seen growth due to focus?
So when I sold my rental portfolio of single family houses, I decided I didn't want to be in that particular space anymore. Nothing negative, nothing bad, but been there, done that. So I keep using the word, I wanted to reinvent myself. So one thing I really did in 2022, well, first of all, I would never be where I am if I hadn't been in masterminds and had mentors.
Right.
So I really stepped up my game in going to numerous seminars and masterminds this year to try to gain a focus for reinventing myself. So I keep saying I have this big funnel and I keep narrowing the funnel down until I get to that project that I want. And one thing that's kind of my mindset that I'm trying to change, it just doesn't have to be one thing. It doesn't have to be mobile home parks. It could be mobile home parks and storage and short-term rentals. So I'm trying to get out of my own way so I can have the growth I need. So a lot of this mentoring and reaching out has helped me to broaden my outlook, my desire for business is that I don't only have to do one thing. I can do multiple things within the space. And actually, I'm even thinking about buying businesses. Getting ready to go to a seminar after the first of the year on how to buy businesses. Because one thing I did determine with trying to figure out my growth pattern was I'm a fixer. I flip houses. So why can't I flip businesses? So the growth has come along with broadening my horizons and opening up my mindset, and then I can do multiple things or do something outside of the rental space. Businesses don't have to be in the rental space, but what I'm good at is fixing.
Mhm.
So I've kind of gotten that out of my growth, which I never used to use that word as I'm a fixer, but I am. So that's how growth has helped me out.
Right, right. That's awesome. That's awesome. Matt, good morning. You still with us? So where is somewhere that you have seen exponential growth due to your focus being on that?
Well, I'll stick with the real estate side. I've done a lot of fix and flips, but I've gotten to a point where, I mean, I've done a lot, made pretty good money at it, but it's not my focus anymore. I ended up getting my real estate broker's license probably about 4 years ago. Grew my agency to about 30 agents, and I stopped concentrating on that, and it's actually dwindled down to 9, which I want it to be, because now my focus is more on the business brokering side, not residential real estate. So I just hired 2 people for that. Looking for a third. So that's really where my focus is going. Starting now going forward is only business brokering. I'll still do some residential real estate. I just bought a single family house rental. I just put an offer on another one. So I'm doing a little bit of the residential real estate, but mostly for myself, and looking at some other projects, maybe in the commercial realm. But just purely focus on residential real estate and growing agents. I want no desire of that. After I had it for 3 years, there's a bigger pain in the ass than it's worth. So
Yeah.
It just took up too much time with very little benefit. So that's no longer my focus. So you can see it. I mean, it does dwindle to, non-existence if you don't concentrate on it. Kind of the other thing you talked about is going to the gym. I mean, been working out for the past 6 weeks every day for 5 days a week, and starting to show results. So you're right. Whatever you focus on you do get the results that you're intended for.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And everybody that is watching the replay of this call, if you didn't just notice it, we kind of have a match here. I don't know if they even noticed it. 2 people talking about doing the exact same thing. So again, this call is by invite only. We don't just open it up to everybody and anybody. The people that we want here, we invite here. But you just saw 2 people on here, and we have had matches in the past come from this site, come from this call, of people doing the same thing or looking at the same thing or wanting to sell a house. This is a great place to match up with people and meet people that are in the same thought space.
I just sent Matt a message.
Perfect. Perfect. I love to see people connect outside of here and off, in private chats. I have also had people reach out to me and say, will you put me in contact with whoever? No, I won't. Just disclaimer, no, I won't. You are at full, you can do that here in private chat. So do it. By all means, reach out. This is about growth. This is about seeing people level up. This is about making connections. 1 + 1 equals 2 different things, depending on how you look at it. If you are all about competition, and competition's healthy. I am a competitive person by nature. 1 + 1, if you're at it, at each other's throats, it's 2. 1 + 1, if you're coming into a collaboration, it's 11. You see, you can grow and expand teaming up with the right people. Keep your focus where it needs to be. Colin, I know you have extreme focus. I talk with you almost, well, pretty much 7 days a week, almost without fail. Let's hear how focus creates growth.
Good morning. Yeah, I appreciate it. So I can just keep it short and sweet because I know we're got a handful of people on here and I don't want to steal the stage, but appreciate you, Jonathan, for bringing us all here, and appreciate the consistency coming from Jonathan, because I know by working with Jonathan, one thing that he does very well is he applies himself. And, we all know as it can be, regardless of success or regardless of the process and what you do and how you do it, actually applying and having execution to the strategy, to what it is that you build, you then have to actually launch it and execute it. So Jonathan, kudos to you, bro, for, irregardless if it's something new, if it's something that you're experienced in, one thing Jonathan does really well is he actually gets after it and applies himself equal parts. And, I know that's something that can be challenging for all of us, regardless of what level you're on professionally, is actually getting after it and applying yourself, irregardless if it's something new or it's something that you're versed in and experienced in. So for me, the recipe, I always go back to food because I love food. I think we all can agree to that food's amazing. So, for me, it really comes down to, who are you? Once you understand who you are, and then second, most importantly, once you understand your talent and skill set, it goes to creating a process and a system. It doesn't have to be complicated, right? You have to know who you are before you're going to have success in business. You have to know who you are as an individual, as a person. Then you have to know what is your talent and skill set. What are you the best at, right? Focus on your strengths, delegate your weaknesses. Third and foremost, what is that process and system to that talent and skill set? Number 3. Number 4, most importantly, create and develop an offer. Monetize your talent and skill set. Step 5 for me is then know how to sell that offer. And if you don't know how to monetize that offer, again, build a team, buy time, and delegate. The last step, right? Once you know who you are, once you know your talent and skill set, you have a simple process and system in place. It can always be developed. It can always be built onto. You have your offer. You know what you're selling. You know who you are. You know what you do. You know that the value and the information that you provide is fixing a specific pain point with a solution. Then you focus on the marketing. The marketing comes once you have, I know who I am. I understand the talent and skill set that I'm really dialed into. This is my number one talent and skill set. This is the process to that talent. I have an offer. I understand how to go to market with it. And if I don't, I'm going to build a team. I'm going to create a simple assembly line, a process and a system for that. And then I'm going to market that exact system and offer and process and team and talent. So for me, I really break it down to who I am, what my talent is, create a simple system for it, create an offer for it, understand how to sell it, how to monetize that skill set, and then how to market it. And for me, it's really, when you forget, you really just go back to the basics. Who am I? What is my skill set? Do I have a process for that? Have I developed an offer? It could be something small. It doesn't have to be complicated. We all start somewhere. We have to start somewhere. It's better to start somewhere than nowhere. And then create a simple sales system, rinse and repeat. Once you have that in place, now you go to, okay, hey, let's start to do this. Let's start to market this, right? Let's give value. And the law of reciprocity is huge. We all know this. Everybody that's had success on here, doesn't matter in what business, what service, what product, right? If it's B2B or if it's B2C or it's both, everybody on this call knows that the success comes from that rhythm, right? From that process, from that technique, from that skill set. Once you're dialed in on your talent, your skill, and you have that process, you understand how to go to market and help people, right? The law of reciprocity, you have to give to receive. So you have to put yourself out there. You have to give, you have to provide that information, education, and value so people understand exactly who you are, what you do, and how you can help them.
That's right. That's right. It's all about processes. Process. Stay focused. Keep your process there intact, and you'll see growth. One last one real quick, Chris. Give us a win you've had or somewhere that you have seen where you put your focus and you've seen growth. And I think you just bailed out on us. Anyway, thank you all for being here, and everybody that's watching the replay, let us hear your comments below. And we look forward to seeing you again next week, where next week we will be discussing being intentional. Being very intentional with everything you do. Last week, we talked about mindset. This week, focus. And next week, intentional. We hope to see you again next week, and have a great week. We'll talk next week. Bye
Sorry
now.
about my internet wasn't on.